Hey guys, KRC here with another review. This time I'll be doing the Rengeki Rensa DX Gashacon ParaBlaGun from Kamen Rider Ex-Aid. This is the weapon used by Kamen Rider Paradox Perfect Knockout Gamer that can switch between two modes and use Gashots to activate its special moves. So, let's get started. First up, we'll look at the Gashacon ParaBlaGun starting in its default Axe mode. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is actually the grip and handle, which might look somewhat familiar. And that's because it actually recycles parts from the Gashacon sword. As you can see, the silver has now been replaced by gold. It has bits of silver paint on it, different painted colors here on the bottom, and instead of having a single color in the middle with an orange and metallic blue buttons, instead has two colors, half and half, one half being red, one half being blue. Besides that, it does of course have some new parts. To start, we have a double-sized Gashot slot, and on top we have the weapon part, starting off with the axe mode. You see a golden axe blade here, and red flame details going along here, and then you can see the other half of it on the back. So, to switch modes, you press and hold the A button, and unlike the Gashacon sword, it's not spring-loaded, so you have to manually change modes. Then you got the gun mode, where you can see blue details, and a bunch of puzzle pieces over on here. Now switching on, we'll get the confirmation sound, announcing its name. So, in axe mode, pressing the trigger will get you a basic axe attack sound. Then you can switch modes to gun mode, where pulling the trigger will get you a basic gun shooting sound. Then we can get to the B button functionality. So, press the button once, then pull the trigger. So, it'll count the number of presses, then give you the same number of attacks back. So, we can do it 3 times this time. And this can go up to 10 times. And if you do it 10 times while in axe mode, you'll hear a bonus bell ringing sound at the end, similar to a boxing bell ring. This also is similar to the Gashacon breaker in that it will repeat the attacks in the same rhythm that you press the button, so we can do it with a little bit of changing up the tempo. So, then you can switch it over to gun mode again, and use the B button here. So, we'll press it once, and you also get a loading sound. So, then we pull the trigger, then we can do it 3 times, and you'll hear the same amount of loading sounds. Then you can do the full 10 times. And this time we get the bonus sound of a cheering crowd. And of course you can also do a bit of rhythm to the shots. Next, we can use this with the Gacha Gear Duel to activate the critical finishes. So, we'll start by inserting it. And pulling the trigger. And there we get the knockout critical finish. And randomly, after that attack, you'll hear KO. Then we can pull it out. Switch it over to gun mode. Put it in again. And we'll get the perfect critical finish. And randomly, all clear will play at the end. Now, one cool touch about this is that in X mode, you can see the image of Knockout Fighter from the front. And when you switch over to gun mode, that image is covered up, and so you can only see the picture of Perfect Puzzle if you look at it from the back. Now, the thing about this is that all the sounds come from the Gashacon ParaBlaGun, because as you can see, I had the Gacha Gear Duel switched off. And we can also do this alternatively using a pair of Gashots. So, we put one into the first slot. They'll activate the Gashot, or at least activate the insertion sound, but not have any sound after that. Then if we insert one into the second slot, it'll prepare to standby. So in other words, it just works off a switch that's in this slot to activate the special attacks. And there we go. Overall, the Gashacon ParaBlaGun is quite interesting in that even though it has a dual Gashot slot in the back, it's more comparable to the other normal Gashacon weapons than the Gashacon Key Slasher, as it's a lot more focused on the two-mode switching and the B-button functionality than on creating combination critical finishes. And it is nice that it has that physical mode change, as one of the problems I had with the Key Slasher was that even though it had the different electronic modes, the form stayed the same through all three of them, and it didn't have any good indicators of what mode it was in, since it all came from the sounds. Though one of my small gripes with this toy is that I feel like in terms of the actual two modes, it's a little bit disproportionate, as the axe blade is a little bit too small and the gun muzzle is a little bit too stubby compared to how they're proportioned in the show. And while obviously they couldn't have it be exactly scale, it would have been nice to see those parts be a little bit larger, just so it had similar proportions to the one in the show. But I will also say that I do like that this has a different critical finish for each mode, which is another thing I harped on the Key Slasher for. So while this is certainly not a replacement for the Gashacon Key Slasher, it is definitely another interesting Gashacon weapon. If you're a fan of Paradox, this is certainly worth picking up, and if you're a Gashacon weapon collector, you'll be sure to enjoy this. Next time, I'll be reviewing the EZW, Pikachu, and Alolan Raichu. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe. And for now, this is KRX50, riding off.